What up? What up? What up? What's going on, y'all? We got another episode of the Crypto Connection with myself. I'm Jared from the Language Podcast, and we got Mr. Winston from MetaRise. Introduce yourself again, sir. People don't know who you are.
What's going on, y'all? Yeah, Weston here from MetaRise. So looking forward to doing this second episode. Really excited about it.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So people have been hitting us up, asking about all these questions. Can we break it down? Can we go simplify it? Because we hit y'all a little bit too much knowledge on the first episode. So Winston had to, break it down elementary because blockchain and cryptocurrency is a lot to learn. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still learning a lot. Like it's a lot to obtain. So just to let you know, recap what we're gonna do today. Winston gonna do his presentation like he did last time. If you got questions, make sure you hit us in the comments. Let us know what you want to know. We'll interrupt him while he's doing the presentation, and then I have some things I want to say myself. What's going on in the cryptocurrency market? As you can see, there's a lot of pullback in the market right now. A lot of people are freaking out because people are selling off because of the Omicron COVID variant. But things started picking up a little bit back better today in the stock market and cryptocurrency. So just remember, if you got any questions, hit them in the comments. Let us know now. I might even post the link for you to even come on the show, so you can ask your question, I guess virtually face to face to everybody, so they can see you.
All right.
Yeah. So no further ado, take it away, Winston, sir.
All right. Let me get my share up here. Yeah, man. I'm glad you mentioned the market because all of us was looking at that the other day. I know I opened up my portfolio the other day and I said, "Oh Lord, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life?"
Yeah, but I looked at it like, I guess the investor me was like, "Yeah, everything on sale. Let me go get some."
Absolutely. Now it takes a while to get there.
Right. Oh yeah, most definitely does.
It definitely. I was not for the longest. I was not trained to think that way.
Right.
Warren Buffett says, when people get greedy, get fearful. When they get fearful, get greedy. And I heard that, but executing on that, it takes some practice. It takes some practice. Man, let me tell you my investment strategy. It was the worst strategy. I don't even know where I got it from, but I thought I was like beating everybody. I thought I was smarter than the market and everybody else. So what I would do is I'll look at something, and if it was going down, I wouldn't buy it. But the second it turned green, then I would buy it. So I was trying to, and needless to say, that didn't work.
Right, you trying to catch it. You trying to catch it on the way up.
Trying to catch it on the way up,
right?
Which made no sense. So, even when I was working in the bank and I was selling mutual funds and stuff like that, I would tell people, okay, if you were buying a shirt, for example, like, would you buy the shirt at regular price or would you like to buy it on sale? And most people be like, I like to buy it on sale. But somehow when it comes to like investing in money, it's like that rationale goes out the window. It's like, no, I want to buy it when it's going up. It's nothing else in life that we like to buy when it's going up in value. But when it comes to investing, it's like we get it twisted. So
exactly.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna do. I'm calling this getting started part 2. We kind of had a part 1 last time, and I told Jared to pull me back if I just keep going because I get to talking about this crypto stuff, and it'd be 2 hours later, and I still be going. So I told him, do not let me go a long time tonight. So, all right, y'all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this presentation here. All right. So just a quick disclaimer, just so y'all don't come for us. We are not licensed financial advisors. The opinions expressed are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any security, blockchain, coin, token, or investment product. It is only intended to provide education about the digital world and financial industry. Please do your own research and consult a licensed professional if you plan to invest in the future. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. All right, so we got this out the way. So Where do you start? Touched on this last time, but you want to do a self-assessment, see where you are, see what you can afford to do, and see what you're trying to do. So determine your own strategy for yourself. Now, there's a bunch of good strategies that are out there. A lot of the things that you can learn in the stock market, and Jared is doing some training in the stock market and learning some different strategies. A lot of those you can apply to real estate and crypto and so many other things, but you definitely want to get a strategy for yourself and figure out which one works for you. Which one can you sleep with at night? And then there's some basic tools that you need to know about in any arena that you're investing in, and that applies to crypto as well. So we'll touch on some of those tools tonight. So we were just talking about the market. Yeah, the market went crazy, right? So this is a snapshot earlier today. I haven't checked it in a few hours, but right now, Bitcoin, or earlier today, Bitcoin is sitting at 50,574. You know, just last week it was in the 60s, but a few days ago it touched 42,000. So just thinking about that, now this has the most market cap of any crypto. Bitcoin swings like that. So, you know, if you can't handle those type of swings from day to day, from week to week, this may not be the thing for you. But some of the best gains over time are in crypto and the stock market. Stock market is still, you know, there's some places where you can get crazy swings up or down, but you definitely want to make sure that this is something that you can stomach and tolerate. So yeah, I invite everybody to jump in the market, and specifically the crypto market, but you want to know what you're doing and you need to know why you're doing it. So the stock market and crypto, they're so correlated. Now, the original purpose for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is really like anti-government, anti-stock market, anti-traditional finance. But the truth of the matter is, it's all interconnected. And one of the reasons being is that there's so much institutional investment that's in it. And I'm going to touch on that in just a minute. So if the stock market crashes, usually crypto crashes, and it shouldn't be that way. But if you have institutions like JP Morgan Chase, if you have Microsoft, if you have these large corporations, MicroStrategy, for example, they have billions in Bitcoin alone. So if you have these large cap companies that have billions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars in crypto, if their stocks and their companies suffer, a lot of times Bitcoin will follow. So if you look at this chart here, this is over the past 7 days, and towards the end of November going into December, the stock market, you know, it was down. And so if you look at the crypto market towards the end of November, the beginning of December, it went down. So not to say that they are closely tied all the time, because sometimes there's deviation, but a lot of times if there's bad news in the market, you know, Jared mentioned Omicron, you know, people in crypto are thinking the same thing. They're like, well, maybe I should sell off to prepare for, you know, if we go into lockdown again, I might need to cash out. But it was a number of things that just happened at the same time. So you got Omicron, you got that Evergrande thing over in China that they seem like they about to default. And then this one dude said Joe Biden got a cold. So he's like, you know, if he gets sick, then that's an issue. But it's just so many different things that's going on at the same time in the market. And these things will affect crypto as well. But like I said, you know, when crypto catch a cold, I mean, it's like the flu for real. So you just got to be sure that you're willing to do that.
Oh, let me piggyback on that.
Yes, sir.
What's
What you got?
What's the thing called China? Everglade? Is Everglade? What's the name?
Evergrande.
Evergrande. So if you're unfamiliar with Evergrande, is it's one of the biggest real estate firms in China, and they're about to go bankrupt. So a lot of people in the stock market and investing world are a little worried about that, because they think it's it's going to set up a chain reaction throughout the world economy. So little people are still monitoring it. It hasn't happened yet, but when it does, you might want to be aware. It might affect the markets when you're investing. So just be prepared. Always monitor the world news as well as stock news in the States. That's it.
Nah, that's a great point. You know, everything is interconnected. Everything is global. You know, so if there's a crash in China, I mean, there's a crash here. We're all tied in together. I mean, if we just go through our tags, you know, if I flip my shirt open and I look at my pants and my shoes, more than likely it's going to say China, Vietnam, Philippines. So, we're so interconnected. So if it goes down over there, usually it goes down over here. So we do have to, pay attention to some global stuff, Bloomberg, Al Jazeera, BBC. It's good to just kind of see what's going on across the pond to get a better idea what's going on over here too, because it does affect us. So I'm gonna talk about these meme coins. Everybody like they meme coins. Everybody, Jared, bro, I got smoked out the room during Thanksgiving, man. I
Oh, because
was
about Dogecoin,
about those, man. So
Dogecoin.
yeah. So my mother-in-law, whenever we get together for like Christmas or Thanksgiving, she likes to ask everybody, what's something that'll be beneficial for the family? Like, can you share something from either your job or your experience, something from this year that you feel like would be beneficial for the family? So, everybody has their turn, and it's almost my turn. And my wife was like, "Oh, I already know what he gonna talk about." So, I was like, "Well," I said, I don't know if y'all on it, but if you're not into crypto already, you need to get into crypto, man. Man, people was like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. I bought that Doge in March and I lost my money. And I was like, no, no, not that one. And it was, man, I got smoked out the room, bro. They shut me up. I couldn't talk about it no more.
Yeah, but that Dogecoin it hurt a lot of people's feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Sure
A lot of
did.
people came up. A lot of people came up if they sold at the right time. Some people held too long, and like they said, investing, you was holding a bag. So
There you go.
when you invest in, always make sure I also hate doing it too, but make sure you set a stop loss when you're investing. So just in case your investment tanking rapidly, it can sell automatically if you're not monitoring. It happened to me plenty of times when I started investing. Sometimes I even do it to this day because sometimes I might invest in like Tesla stock or cryptocurrency coin that always fluctuates up and down a lot. I might have a stop loss on it and I might lose on it, but you just be mindful what you're doing. That's why you should always practice before you start investing, what they call paper trading. So
Paper
make sure
trade.
you do some paper trades so you can get familiar with whatever platform you're trading on. Trust me, that was key for me. I didn't. I went straight in head first and started trading with real money, and I don't recommend that. So make sure you get a couple of paper trades in before you start getting putting your real money.
Yeah, man, that's really good advice.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I have on here, just talking about price targets, and it does take practice, but we both are members of EYL, and one thing that they talk about all the time is reverse engineering your trading. It's like when you buy something, you need to know what your exit is. So when it hits that target, you sell. No matter, it don't matter if it's running, it don't matter if everybody on the ground just talking about how it's going to keep going up to the moon and all that. And I'm guilty of this too, man. I have been up 15x on something, and that greed start kicking in. You like, ooh, what if it just go to what if
It
it go
get
to
burnt every time. Get burnt
yeah,
every time.
you just sitting there, you just like, ooh, and then you're feeling so good. It's up 15x, and you go to sleep, and you wake up that next morning, you open up that portfolio.
About to start crying.
Oh, you like, no, man. So yeah, man, there's no lesson like a real live lesson with real money. So yeah, those paper trades are really important, and there's a lot of things you can do with that in the crypto market as well.
Oh, we got a question. Hold on.
Oh, what we got?
Hold on, pull it up. Give me 1 second. Shout out to Hirsch, Big Hirsch watching. Thank you for tuning in on the show. Do you recommend a course on crypto?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on what angle you're trying to go into it. So if you're just talking about like, okay, do you want to just like generally learn about blockchain itself? There's things on Udemy and Coursera. So like Coursera they have courses from Stanford and MIT. Like you got really deep dive studies on crypto, and they'll go all the way from like the history of blockchain and cryptocurrency, how it was created, those type of things. So if you want like a foundational layer, but if you're looking for like trading things of that sort, like if you're looking just as an investor, believe it or not, one of the best resources is YouTube for investing in crypto, because the truth of this matter is this market is so early. Like, it's these all-time highs that we're hitting. We have a little bit of price history on it, but the oldest crypto, which is Bitcoin, is only 12 years old. So the longest market, I mean, some of these cryptos, they've only been out a year or two. So you really going by, a 12-month history. In some cases, might be a 30-day history. You trying to figure out what the all-time high is. So there are some channels. One that I like is Crypto Banter. They do a lot of trading on there. If you're into trading, like sniping. Justin Robinson at Woodja, he does a lot of demos on trading and Fibonacci retracement and things. But I mean, really, I would suggest, if you're looking at it from a trading standpoint, I would suggest going through a trading course, because you can apply that same stuff to crypto. The same tools are used with TradingView and all that stuff. So those are my be the recommendations I would have. I hope that answers the question.
For sure. You can continue.
All right. So the meme coin, so Doge. So I have my own investing philosophy about meme coins such as Doge and some others. I won't name the others because I know everybody like their meme coins, but Doge, for example. So I can't personally put fundamentals behind, why it goes up and why it goes down. If I have to wait on Elon Musk to pump the price, then I just can't. If it just depends on how he feel, if he wants to pump it, that I just can't put my arms and my mind around it. But people have made a killing in Doge, and so one of the things that's important around meme coins, if you're into that, is like the psychology around it. So coins that have low price points that are in the cents or a fraction of a cent, that's very attractive, because it's like, okay, it's at such and such, 0.0001, man. If that thing go to a penny, man, I'm retiring today and I'm going to buy me an island. So it's like the psychology around it, just the sheer idea of, well, Bitcoin was a penny once, maybe this will do what Bitcoin would do. So that's a part of it. But again, it's manipulated a lot of times by robots. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's bots on the gram and bots on Twitter and bots on TikTok, with people stunting. Those things start to flood our psyche, and then you just like, man, I gotta get in. That FOMO start kicking in. You start seeing all these billionaires. You start seeing.
You gotta tell them FOMO mean. You gotta tell them FOMO mean.
Oh, FOMO, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out, and that applies to just life. I've bought Jordan shoes. You get FOMO. You just all of a sudden, I just start getting these advertisements in my inbox about some Jordan drop that's about to come. And then, I pick my phone up, and then some kind of weird, and it's on my phone now. Now I'm getting StockX alerts and stuff. And, I ain't even know these Jordans was going to come out. And then all of a sudden now I want these Jordans because, I feel like I'm missing out. And the same thing happens in investing. People get tricked into buying at the wrong time. And that's exactly what happened in Doge. A lot of people got manipulated into buying Doge around February, March. They bought at the top and people dumped on them. People that bought Doge a year ago, 5 years ago, they just dumped on them. They ran the price up. They got all these people to empty their bags, and they dumped on them. And so that happens a lot in crypto. It happens in stock market all the time. People get dumped on all the time. So just don't be that person, and just, if you want to trade it, but set your price target, get out when you hit your price. So what you think about that, bro?
Sorry, I was on mute. Look, I know a lot of people who got in Dogecoin. I knew some people were in trouble when my mom was talking about Dogecoin. When my mom was talking about Dogecoin, I knew some people was gonna lose some money. Like, I got into it when it was like a few. I forgot when I got into it. And when it reached a certain point, I sold most of it, and I just kept a few just in case it popped back up. But I knew I knew it was gonna drop. I just ain't know when. I ain't know at what point it was gonna drop. Because people was hitting me up, asking me, "Man, you in this Dogecoin, Dogecoin?" I kept telling people, "Look, I say if you get in, make sure you put enough money in that you're comfortable losing, and make sure you set a stop loss because you don't want to be caught holding the bag. Trust me,
Yes,
I know that
indeed.
feeling too well." So
Yes, indeed.
when FYI, if you hear about us about a time, if somebody is calling you or texting you about a stock or crypto coin, asking you to get into it, it's already too late.
It's late. It's too
Yeah, it's
late.
too late. Like don't even try to get into it unless you're gonna watch it the whole time. And once it start going down, you can get out. So once you start hearing it on the news, man, if your mama and your aunts and your grandma is telling you about a crypto coin to get into, it's already too late.
Yeah, that's the litmus test right there. If your
Exactly.
mama is asking you about crypto, it's too
Exactly.
late.
It's too late.
It's
It's too
too
late.
late. And that's good advice, bro. I appreciate it. But that's true. You know, there's indicators as out here. You know, we can look at stuff. You know, there's on-chain analysis where you can actually look at the blockchain and the metrics and see what's going on with the blockchain. You know, we got the indicators like the charts. You know, we go to CoinMarketCap and go to CNBC and Yahoo and all that stuff and look at those indicators. But you know, you can start to use your common sense too. You know, to Jared's point, when you start seeing stuff, when you have people that you know have no business giving you investment advice, and now you got and this is no disrespect, you know, because there are a lot of intelligent and investing savvy rappers and entertainers and you know such that a lot of athletes, you know, they know what they're doing, but I just feel like picking on them. But you know, if Ja Rule start coming out and start saying, you know, because when that whole AMC thing, GameStop thing was coming, he was coming out talking about hold the line, and I'm just like, are y'all really gonna take your investment advice from Ja Rule? Fire Fest Ja Rule. We really gonna do this, you know? And I'm just like, man, yeah. So you can kind of tell like when the top is coming on anything when it's just everywhere, like you can't turn around. And when they were talking about, you know, Elon going on SNL and everybody waiting on this announcement from that was a sell sign, you know. They say buy the rumor, sell the news. By the time it got to that point, everybody should have jumped on that computer that day and sold every piece of those that they got if they waiting on an announcement on SNL. Is like Jared says, too late. It's too
Right.
late.
Like I ain't gonna lie, I was one of the people waiting, but I already set my stop. Like I already set my stop. Like I was watching it. I was watching Saturday Night Live and I had my phone in my hand, waiting, see what's gonna happen. And a sell off started happening. Like
During
I
the
think
show.
it started going up when he came on, and during
Mm-hmm.
the episode, it started selling off. So
Mm-hmm.
if people ain't get out, they got caught holding the bag. Oh, hold
Yeah.
on, we got a few comments on here. Hold on.
All right.
Oh, what's going on, Ashley? What's up? What's up? I see Ashley Jenkins. Thanks for watching the show. He laughing at our comments. And then we got I think Hirsch asking another question. Is your stop loss on auto? Can you set up a profit gain to auto sell once you hit? Yes. Depending on what platform you use. If like let's say for example, if you put in I'm just gonna use money values. If you put in $100 and you got to set your stop loss for you to sell your coin or your stock at $90, you can do that automatically. You don't have to watch it. Also, like if you bought something, an asset $100 and it hit $110, and you wanted to sell once it hits 10% profit, you can do that on auto as well, depending on your platform. I know there are a lot of platforms that do that, like Webull, Robinhood, the cryptocurrency apps like Coinbase and Uphold and a few others, crypto.com. They have those features, but they're not as advanced like the stock market trading apps like Robinhood and TD Ameritrade. But they are coming up. So
Well, there's one the best one that I know of, and maybe I could do some homework on that because I'm not a day trader, but FTX US they have a lot of those tools in there
okay,
if you want to do like trader view type trading.
Oh, that's
So they
the that's the ones we like for forex mainly, right?
FTX, so they bought a number of different derivatives platforms and integrated it
Okay,
into
okay,
FTX. But they are one of the biggest in the US. That's that Sam Bankman-Fried umbrella. So that's a real big one. FTX is the company that bought
okay.
the naming rights to that Miami arena. So yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
that's going to be probably your biggest one in the States where you can do some stuff like that.
Cool. See, I ain't even know. I never even heard of FTX. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna check that
FTX. So
out.
that's a good one.
All right, thanks for the question, Hirsch. I don't see anybody else right now. All right, I guess you can knock it out with this blockchain.
With this blockchain, so this is the question that comes up a lot, and a lot of times I just be going way out there. I get talking about crypto and stuff, and I assume that a lot of people know what it is already, but I realize that we usually talk about cryptocurrency, but nobody really talks about blockchain, the underlying technology. And I get it. I understand it. It's kind of like the internet. Like we're on the internet right now. We're using layers of the internet right now, but we never talk about the internet protocol. Like nobody, unless you're into tech, you have to work on mainframes and things of that sort, or you have to write code. Like nobody's really talking about the internet protocol itself. And so for that reason, a lot of people aren't interested in blockchain itself. But it is important to know if you're investing in the space, like why is important. And so I often ask people, if you had the opportunity back in 95 to invest and own a piece of the internet, would you have done so? And most people are like, yes, absolutely. If you could have bought a piece of Facebook or Amazon or Google back in the day when they were first coming out, would you have done that? Most people are like, absolutely yes. And so that's my rally cry, my rally cry to get into blockchain. I'm like, we are going into the next shift. We are going into Web 3.0 is right there. Please get into this. And people are like, I don't know about that. I'm just like,
Exactly. Everybody, like, I be telling them, you bought some coins yet? They're like, nah, I ain't get around to. I said, all right, okay, okay. You gonna learn. You gonna learn the hard way.
I know, man. I be preaching from the mountain. Man, I be feeling like Tyrese when he went on that rant when he was like, "What more do you want from me?" I try to give people because this is one of those times. I really feel, and I said it before. A lot of times we feel like we always find about things so late, and I just feel I'm not more than feel like I know this is one of these times where we're still early in this space. And this is the opportunity where people don't have to get left behind again. And so, just start learning about it. So blockchain. So basically, blockchain is a ledger. So a real simple example is like if you get your bank statement, that is the ledger of your account. So it has all your transactions on there. Where the blockchain is a public ledger. So imagine if you could see a you could see everybody's transactions in the bank publicly. That's one form of what the blockchain does. So it gives a public distributed ledger. That's now when I say distributed means that there's not one central authority or one central place where all this information is stored. They're stored on nodes, and a node can be a computer, for example. So like this laptop that I'm on right now, it can serve as a node on the network. So my laptop or my node can hold a piece of the information that's on the blockchain, or it may hold all of the information on the blockchain. So for that reason, if somebody were to steal my laptop, yes, they have the information there, but so does all these other nodes that's on chain. And so what has to happen in order for a transaction to go through, there has to be consensus on the chain. So in other words, if let's say if I want to send some money to Jared, all right, so the blockchain has to verify that that I have the money in my account, and then two, that I want to send this amount of money to Jared. So what has to happen is a certain number of confirmations has to happen on the blockchain. So I'm gonna send $100 to Jared First, there has to be consensus with a certain number of nodes. It might be, depending on the blockchain, it might be, let's say, 40 confirmations. So 40 different nodes have to all say, yes, Winston has $100 in his account. Yes, Winston is trying to send $100 to Jared. And then they have to have consensus that Jared received that money. Now, because that same information is on all those nodes, that's how consensus is reached. Instead of just one central authority, like me sending the money through Bank of America. Bank of America is a central authority. They're the only one that's verifying that I have the money and that's the amount that I'm trying to send. So if there's only one central point of failure, then that can be hacked, that can be stolen. So the blockchain just makes transactions more secure because information is spread out. And even if one of those nodes, one of those confirmations is wrong, then there still could be a majority consensus confirmation for a transaction to go through. So I hope I didn't lose y'all way in the weeds.
Nah, you good.
Yeah, there's so many different applications of the blockchain itself, but that is one of the most important things about the blockchain is that there is not a central authority. There's no central point of failure. And now there are private blockchains now, but public blockchains, nobody owns it. So, it's kind of like, it's like the internet itself. Who owns the internet? Yes, people can shut off your access to it. So like in China, that's one thing that's really big. In a communist state, they can shut off your access to it. But even then, people still find they get VPNs. They do all kind of different stuff to get on the internet because nobody owns it. So with the blockchain, this is kind of the same concept. It's a new protocol layer where nobody owns the finance that's on the chain. Nobody owns the information that's on the chain. It's all shared and it's all public. So we're going to talk about some applications of that in a minute here. All right. It's never easy to explain the blockchain, man. I try.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to tell somebody who don't have no experience, especially if you're not in IT. So.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. I'm gonna have to find like some real like simple, some serious simple analogies to use. So I kind of already covered that, so I'm gonna go past that. So who's using the blockchain? So this is where like the credibility comes in. So when I got into it back in 2017, it was just like a bunch of promises. Back then it was just like, okay, this blockchain is going to do this and that blockchain and crypto is going to change the world this way, but it wasn't a lot of proof. It really, at that time, it was, of course, Bitcoin was around. Ethereum was still kind of getting there. And then you had like all these privacy coins. And it was just a bunch of stuff out there where they was just like, man, we're going to do this. And we working with these people. And you didn't really know what was going to pop and what was going to drop. So the top 10 3 years ago looks way different from the top 10 now. And I remember some of that stuff that I invested in is nowhere to be found now. But now you have Google, for example. You got Microsoft. You got JP Morgan Chase. You got Nike. You got Apple. So you're talking about these S&P 500, these Fortune 500 companies that are either building their own blockchain, like JP Morgan Chase has their own their own private blockchain. Microsoft, they're partnered with a token called Engine for some of their NFT and metaverse stuff. Google is partnered with Theta TV, that's to provide streaming services. So it's crazy because it's kind of like a competitor to YouTube, but they know where things are going. So they are running a validator node. So one of those nodes that I was speaking of, they are a node on a blockchain, a competing. Well, I guess it's not a competing blockchain. They're just in the space. They're like, if you can't beat them, join them. Apple is doing that. Apple got so many different things. We probably could spend a whole show just on Apple.
Exactly. But that's my favorite right there. I love Apple.
Yeah. So one cool thing that Apple is doing is on the Solana block. Well, their investment is not directly on the Solana blockchain, but with something that's called Render. And that's where, like, if we start talking about this metaverse and augmented reality stuff. So on iOS, you can use Render to help render virtual reality and augmented reality. So I don't know if people remember Pokemon Go. That was kind of like,
I remember that when it was popping. Yeah, it was going crazy looking for people in parks and talking traffic stops. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, people remember people was falling off cliffs and
Yeah.
hurting themselves because of that augmented reality. So that was a real simple one, but Apple is going, they're gonna change the game. And then Nike. So we're gonna touch on like fashion in just a minute. So if you're looking for like credibility, yeah, the blockchain and crypto might sound weird itself, but does Microsoft sound weird? I mean, I'm using a Microsoft product as we speak, so that can kind of help. So some other use cases. So Audius, for example. So now we're starting to talk about NFTs. And NFT is a non-fungible token. So a non-fungible token, you can kind of think about it like is like your fingerprint. Like if I was a token on the blockchain, I would be a non-fungible token. There's only one Winston. They try to duplicate me, bro, but they can't. But it's only one being. So Jared would be an NFT, and anybody, we're all unique. Our fingerprint would be an NFT, and so that's basically what a non-fungible token is. One of a kind, is unique. It has its own hash. There might be something that looks similar to it. Might be something that's identical to it, but it's unique because it has its own identifier on the blockchain. But some NFT use cases are like Audius, for example. So Audius is a music streaming platform. So every MP3, every song that you put on there is an NFT itself. And from that NFT, you can get paid by streaming. So that one right there, these NFT streaming services is just gonna rock the boat for like Spotify and SoundCloud, because artists, they don't get paid, like they get paid pennies. They can have a million views and get like a $10 check off of a SoundCloud. But Audience, because the way that is set up and because it's an NFT, they get paid so much more off of that. Theta TV is the one that I mentioned that Google is partnered with, is a video streaming service. So every video, so like Jared has a Theta TV channel. If he puts this video on Theta TV, that's an NFT. That's a one of a kind NFT that he can get paid in TFU on by streaming that. And then you as a viewer, now this is the unique thing about crypto and crypto and blockchain platforms, is that you as the viewer can get paid. So I'm using, for example, right now I'm using the Brave browser. In the Brave browser, if I click on an ad, like all the ads are blocked. There's no ads whatsoever. But if I allow ads to come through, every time I click on an ad, I get paid in Brave token, the basic attention token. And so same thing at Theta. When I go to certain channels, I earn TFU. YouTube doesn't give you anything for watching something. SoundCloud doesn't pay you for listening to music. So these are really going to change the way that all of this stuff is structured with advertising dollars. Another use case is with ticketing. So tickets, there's a lot of fraud in ticket, a lot of scalping, things of that sort. So tickets on the blockchain could be verified because they're one for one, and so you can't counterfeit something. Well, I won't say you can't. It's extremely hard to counterfeit something on the blockchain because, again, it's a public ledger. And so you got tickets. For example, they got NFL teams that are starting to issue tickets. In Dallas Mavericks, they're issuing tickets as NFTs, and it saves them so much money from fake tickets. And one thing that's really big that's coming down the pipeline, and everybody, we need to pay attention to this, is ID on the blockchain. So identification on the blockchain is coming. In many places already here, but everything from your vaccine records to your driver's license, your passport, like all that's going to be on blockchain because it's verifiable, it's public, it's hard to duplicate. And so a lot of that stuff is going to move on chain. All right. I'm looking. I told you, bro, I'll be going, man.
You good?
All right. So my favorite team. So the NFL is they're doing something with NFTs. And so real soon, like they said, they announced before the season is out. And I actually got a notification. So you can look up NFL all day. That's going to be their NFT streaming, their NFT platform. And so you can join their whitelist right now if you want to be like an early adopter, early tester. They're starting to pick people to be early testers for the platform, and you can get in on the NFTs like super early. So that's important because Top Shot, NBA Top Shot, if you bought, some of those NFTs for $1 a year ago, some of those are thousands of dollars at this point. But the NFL, for example, they see just how important NFTs are. The NFL makes so much money off their merchandise and just paraphernalia. So they see that things, paraphernalia and merchandise is going digital. So they're jumping into space. So, I really invite you, if you're a sports fan, just start looking at some of these platforms. And my favorite, AI.
Yeah, I remember that. The cross.
Oh yeah, my favorite point guard versus my favorite two guard all the time. My favorite player all the time, actually. Jordan. That's my top two right there. So crypto.com. Now, if you haven't seen a crypto.com commercial, crypto.com advertisement, a crypto.com something, like you probably like really been like sleep for real, because they are everywhere. They just bought, what used to be Staples Arena. It's like one of the most iconic arenas in the world. Like everybody knows. I can't even tell you the last time I've been to Staples, but Staples Arena.
Yeah.
And so, the Lakers franchise is one of the most important franchises in the world. And you're going to see crypto.com every time the Lakers play. And, like LeBron or not, he's such a big figure. Crypto.com is going to be in the mix with LeBron, and they're on the 76ers jersey. I mean, crypto.com is just all over the place, but they have their own NFTs as well. So you might want to just kind of pay attention to what the NBA is doing, what crypto.com specifically is doing with NFTs.
All right. Don't forget about crypto.com has its own token as well. It's ticket number.
Yeah.
Ticker is CRO.
CRO.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very important. That's very important. Unlike a lot of the other centralized platforms, so like you was mentioning, like Robinhood and Uphold and Coinbase, they all allow you to go on their platforms and buy their tokens. But buy other tokens, but they don't have their own token. So crypto.com is like one of the best crosses for decentralized finance and centralized finance all mixing together. Because if you start looking, so the way I got introduced to the CRO token was by getting a crypto.com card. So,
right. I got one of the cards too.
All right. So yeah, man. So that I think that's one of the best ways for people to really get deep into crypto is through crypto.com, because like on there they have quests, like they got missions that you can do to learn certain things. They have, all the stock tickers for the crypto, all that. But the CRO token, it forced me to dive into the Chronos chain. And now you can take your CRO and stake it, and you can do yield farming. I mean, that's the deep end of the pool. So I won't take y'all down there today, but oh man, the price action on that CRO token, oh boy, that was lovely. So yeah, man, we probably should do a show just on crypto.com.
Right. I got to show people. See, we ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? We do the real thing. This the package and the card came in. You know what I'm saying? It's real out here. We got the card.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So crypto.com making a difference out here.
Game changer. And so it's yeah, boy, them CRO rewards are, oh man, that's yeah. So yeah, crypto money is different. That's why. Okay, so now we getting into the part where people like really get confused with the NFT. Like, why are people paying $200,000, $500,000, $1 million for this right here? People are like, okay, why would this is the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So this is one of the most successful. Actually, I think it has the most sales of any NFT project. These crazy looking monkeys. And it's not just about the monkeys. So one thing is with on the Ethereum blockchain. So people that bought Ethereum back in 2015 and 2016, they got different kind of money. And people that have a lot of ETH or they have a lot of Bitcoin, they a lot of times they don't go back into cash, but they sitting on this crypto, and so they're looking for different places to sit their tokens, their Ethereum, or if they got a whole bunch of Doge, they're just looking at different places where they can park. So that's one thing. But the application of NFTs has changed over time. So yeah, you got the artwork. You know, somebody might like the artwork, but the Bored Ape Yacht Club is really a club, and in that club, these are some of the people that's in that club. So you got Jimmy Fallon, you got Mark Cuban, who's a billionaire. You got Lil Baby, that if you into to rap, I mean, you have celebrities that are being turned down from people. I don't want to say regular people, but the average Joe that got a Bored Ape Yacht Club. They're so exclusive. People want to be in this club. And so I was talking to a guy not too long ago. He bought one, kind of on the whim. He had a really good feeling about it. Now he paid 30 grand for it. So he made some money, but he was telling me about this yacht club, this yacht party that he got invited to in New York, and he's rubbing shoulders with millionaires and billionaires, and they're telling him about the next thing that's coming up. And these NFTs, they drop more NFTs that people can resell, and then it gets different merchandise. They're invited to certain clubhouses, to talk about different things, investment opportunities. So
can you
it's
can you
not
talk
just
about how people can make money off reselling NFTs too?
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, just think about that. I mean, these Bored Ape Yacht Club hasn't been around that long. So just imagine if you happen to buy one for half an E, with at the time was around like $500 when these things were going, but you buy one for $500,000, and here you are. The floor price on the Bored Ape right now is like 200 grand. So now you're sitting on, you have this option like, okay, I can go into cash, on 200 grand, or you can even borrow against it. So, this is what a lot of millionaires and billionaires do, is if they have an asset, they don't go into cash and create a tax event. They borrow against it. So you can take your NFT that's worth 200 grand and take 100 grand out and use your NFT as collateral and go build a house. So just imagine taking a Bored Ape, a JPEG, and now you living in a house off a monkey. You know, so when people, for a while I kind of struggle with, well, how do I justify? People like, man, why would I buy this? It's a JPEG, like. But when you start saying things like that, like, well, I'm living in with this JPEG provided for me, it's like, oh, for real? Man, tell me how to do that. So yeah, NFTs have really provided a lot of application. And then, just other things. So NFT-Fi is one of those places where you can fractionalize or you can borrow against your NFT. But now you got stuff like infinite objects, so you can actually put your NFTs up on the wall. You can display them. You can put them on your coffee table. And then gaming. So gaming is, huge. And so you got the cross between, like, this is a game called Blankos. At the bottom, you got Burberry, you got Louis Vuitton, you got Marathon Clothing. So now people are in the metaverse, and that's the big talk now. Well, how do we apply these NFTs? Where just like people like fashion, they overpay for fashionable items. Just imagine how much they're going to spend with something that they can show to hundreds of millions of people rather than just their circles. For a rare item, there's only 500 of these in the world, and now you got access to 2 billion people, and you can stunt with that item. So those type of things are happening on chain. And I mean, there's so many different companies like Adidas, like Nike, like, I mean, Louis Vuitton, like I said. So many different applications. So just get lost in the space, y'all. There's so many different things. Like, whatever you're interested in, there's an application on chain, I promise.
That's what's up. Another fire presentation from Winston, from MetaRise, as always. Just to piggyback off NFT, I read a story. I think maybe last week. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can. Let me share it on the screen right quick. Let me share. Talking about NFTs. Hold on. Since people might think it's a game out here. This a 12-year-old artist.
Yeah, I
she
saw
made
that.
1.6 million with her NFL collection. It sold out in hours. NFTs, not
12 years
real
old.
painting. NFTs, digital art.
12 years old.
12 years old, and she made 1.6 million. Telling y'all, man, y'all need to get on this cryptocurrency and this blockchain technology, man, before you get left behind again. Again.
Yeah, man. You know, the reach is different. You know, so all right, so like a lot of people will say that, man, I wish I had started a YouTube channel back in 2005. Like, you know, how big would it be now? Well, these art, like, well, for artists, man, I just beg artists, you know, if you have, I mean, even a little bit of skill, if you are an artist, man, there is no reason why you should not be on chain. Your access, you know, that's what all these streaming channels provided was access. So this, I'm 12 years old. I mean, she made more money in a few hours than most people make in their lifetime, bro.
What was the artist that who came out with an album? Was it Baby, Lil Baby, or the Baby who dropped the NFT album?
They had Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez. I think Tory Lanez. Didn't he sell out like
he sold out like 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah. So
yeah,
NFTs they coming.
Yeah, that's gonna be the standard. You know, like we really are going. I mean, you know, anytime you look back and you think of how stuff has transformed, you know, before the fact, if you're telling somebody, they really think like you kind of throw it off. So, you know, when tapes came out, if somebody said, well, you know, it's going to be CDs one day, and they'd probably be like, man, I don't even make no sense. And then, you know, I was kind of like this when the whole MP3 came, you know, to the scene. You know, people were telling me like, I mean, there's just not going to be a reason to have a physical thing to hold your music anymore, right? And man, it took me a while to kind of wrap my mind around it until like I got to college and like LimeWire and all that stuff was popping. I was like, oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need that CD, DVD, nothing, cassette tapes, all that going. Oh, hold on, we got a few comments. Hold on, let me see what's going on. What's up, Harold? How you doing, Mr. Seals? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to get you on the show. He's a crypto enthusiast as well. He in the game. He can come on the show eventually. Probably hoping in a couple of weeks.
Okay,
shout out to him. Awesome. Unfortunately, he was saying no, but I let that ride. That's my Zulu brother, y'all. He know how it is. Hirsch Rock, another question. How do these athletes get their paychecks switched to Bitcoin when it's a set amount of Bitcoin currency out there?
Yeah, so everything is on an exchange. So they're not directly getting their paychecks in Bitcoin. You know, like the way the headlines read, they'll say, you know, this like not A-Rod, but Aaron Rodgers, for example, you know, he's gonna start accepting part of his salary in Bitcoin. So a lot of times what they're doing is just taking a part of their salary and they're getting, you know, either a broker or maybe they're doing it themselves to go on to an exchange for them and exchange their fiat, you know, into Bitcoin. And that's what's happening a lot of times. So even though there's a cap, like it's going to be traded back and forth. So even with stocks, I mean, you know, every company has only so many stock of their company. They might issue 100 million shares of their stock, and it's a finite number, but it's traded back and forth. So that the same thing happens in Bitcoin. So even when the last Bitcoin is mined, it's still going to be traded back and forth. Now, as we get to that, and it's going to take a while, but as we get to that limit, it is going to become more scarce, and because it becomes more scarce, it goes up in value. And so, you know, that's with anything, man. If a company like buybacks their shares, you know, they're taking it off the market. So yeah, but yeah, they're just trading it. It's just being traded back and forth.
Thanks for the question. You see, more isn't being printed like. I think it means say or is it being printed like money? Oh yeah, we probably gonna have to. That's another thing. We're gonna have to talk about how cryptocurrency is created, data mining and stuff like that. Yeah, we definitely have to talk about that. How people make rigs, how people use the computers to make cryptocurrency. So yeah, we definitely have to talk about that. Let's see. Somebody else got some. Thanks for the welcome, brothers. Oh yeah, most definitely, Harold. Yeah, we'll see you on the next show, hopefully. We'll get you on here talking about your new company and everything, how you got in the crypto world and everything.
Okay.
So before we get out of here, because I see we got 5 minutes left, because I like to keep it an hour. Because if we keep going, people want to ask more questions. People want to pop on, be like, "Hey, wait, I got another question." No. I like to keep it an hour, so we can't give you everything. What is what hurts? What is
Yes,
it?
indeed. Yes, indeed.
What is it?
You
We
know
have to talk about Coin the next time. Yep.
yeah, we'll talk about that. You know, when you really so this is the thing about crypto. You either gonna keep going forward with it. Once you really dig into it, you'll be like, man, I'm out of here because nobody know who made Bitcoin. One, like, we don't know who it is.
Exactly.
There's all these theories, but we don't know who the founder of Bitcoin is. And you know, once you start looking at like algorithms to create it and things, it'll turn a lot of people off. But at the same time, it makes you realize, like, it makes you ask the question, like, well, what is money? And when you think about what money is whatever you agree for money to be. And so, even though I like to pick on Doge and Shiba, I like it because it teaches a lot of people about what money is. Money is whatever you say it is. And that's what Shiba is. It's like, okay, well, now I can buy a movie ticket with it. Well, now it's money. So, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So I want to touch on a few things before we go, because I want to. I don't know if people are aware about what happened a couple weeks ago. I think this happened after our last show. Well, I gotta share my screen again. Hold on one second. I don't know if you heard about this, Winston. I think I texted you about this. Hold on. Hold on. Let me show you this right here. Hold on. Where is it? That's not it. GYN coin. GYEN coin. So, if you didn't know, it was trading specifically on Coinbase. I think it was on another exchange as well. And what happened was it started skyrocketing, and all of a sudden, uh, you couldn't trade it no more on Coinbase. Like they had a lot of people that were upset. Like people had like money in there, like a few 100,000. It may have somebody who had a million, but I never double checked that source there. But people had a lot of money in Coinbase stopped letting people trade, or the value deteriorated quickly. Like one person was saying he had 55,000 worth of GYN tokens, and then it wound up by the time he was able to trade it, it went down to $55. So that's why we tell y'all you need to do your research and your due diligence when it comes to this crypto coin, because they are not like regular stocks in a company. They are cryptocurrency. That's all they are. Like they don't answer to the SEC. Um, I think
Yep.
I think this coin got kicked off Coinbase. Yeah, it got kicked off Coinbase. So just be aware if one of these tokens that's not maybe the top 10, or one of those tokens that has not been around for a few years, be mindful how much money you put into it. I mean, it's okay to trade it, but just be mindful. You might be stuck out of your money that you invested in.
Yeah, bro.
Are you aware of what happened with this?
Yeah. So, man, this happens a lot, and a lot of people are learning this shit. You know, I learned years ago, but a lot of time the sheer volume just shuts down the exchange. And I remember this, the first time I learned about this was on Binance. When it was like you could use, they got Binance US, but the old Binance that the world uses, I was on there and I was trying to send something, and the send button was just grayed out. Like
Wow.
they shut down trading. And like I said, man, crypto will teach you a lot about, you know, markets, period, because even like with Robinhood with the whole GameStop thing and they had to shut it down, like you learn about liquidity. If there's no liquidity, like if they don't have enough of the token to send or sell, then they can't, you know, they can't honor it. And then on the other side, you know, I think like when people trade and stuff, they think it's like this unlimited supply thing. You know, if in order to buy something, somebody has to have something to sell. So if there's not enough tokens on the other side, you can't buy it. And then if you're trying to sell, but there's not enough money in the pot, where can it go? So yeah, bro. Now this happens a lot too, even on Coinbase. This happens on with Solana on FTX a lot. These big platforms, they'll list a token because they're early investors too, and they getting the retail investor to dump on. And so, I'm not saying that this necessarily happened in Coinbase, but as reputable as Coinbase is, it's kind of interesting that this token out of nowhere shows up, it blows up, and then so VCs do that a lot, bro. They tear people up left and right, bro. It's cold like.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, man. That's crazy. When I saw this story, I was like, damn, I never even thought about that. It did remind me of Robinhood GameStop fiasco. I was gonna touch on Coinbase, but I see we over the 1 hour mark. I just wanted to touch on one more thing. I don't know if you heard about. Oh, I'm sorry, my light went out. So you're talking the truth. You're talking the truth. So if you're unaware, El Salvador, country in Central America, they want to be the first Bitcoin city. I'm trying to fix this light. So they are heavily invested. I believe they made Bitcoin a legal currency, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So I think they're one of the first countries to do so. So what are your thoughts about El Salvador trying to make a Bitcoin city, trying to entice people to move their Bitcoin into their? I think they're trying to create an exchange as well. And they try to give them like tax benefits. If you move your money over here, you won't pay no taxes for a certain amount of time, or something like that. They really didn't give too much in-depth knowledge about the tax break that you'll get. What are your thoughts about that before we head out of here?
I love it, bro. It's one of those things where Cuba is doing something similar. As a lot of Latin American countries are looking to this because of the stranglehold. I hope it don't get us in trouble, but stranglehold like the IMF and the World Health Organization, like a lot of these multinational economic corporate, I don't know what you call these institutions, they have these strangleholds on these countries because they give them these loans and they can't ever pay them back. And so, if you get off the US dollar as the standard and now Bitcoin is a standard, then what power, so I mean, they know what they're doing, and I want to take a trip there just to see like some of this stuff. Bitcoin City, man, I really want to check that out.
Right, because they said they was going to use they going to put it in the middle of the jungle and use volcano to be a power source for the data mining equipment. They're gonna make Bitcoin as well, cryptocurrency out there. So I like the idea. I like the plan. I think it's pretty cool. So just be mindful. Like, we created this show for you all, for the culture, so you could be aware of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is out there. And the governments, they're a little afraid about this technology. That's why as cryptocurrency is outlawed in some countries. So it's hard to control it. So just be mindful. You need to start investing some money. It could be $1, $5, $10 a week.
Please.
I mean, just invest. Like, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin to get Bitcoin. Like, you could buy, if you got $5 worth of Bitcoin money, if you got $5, you could buy $5 worth of Bitcoin, fractional shares of it. So don't be afraid when you see all these enormous prices. I think right now, Bitcoin is going for 48,000 now, 49,000, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can buy $5 worth of that. Just keep buying it over time. Instead of spending $5 or $10 on that drink you get every week in a club or something like that, throw it in crypto. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do hopefully next time we do the next show, I'm gonna do a presentation on what apps you could use or what I like to use, so you can do auto. Like, I like to use certain apps that auto invest for me. Like, every Thursday or every Friday or every Saturday, it invests for me. Like, I'm getting $20 worth of Apple. I'm getting $20 worth of Bitcoin. So I like to use the long term. I'm a long term investor. I use the dollar cost averaging method because I like to trade a little bit when I can, but I'm not a day trader, full-time day trader, like those guys being charts and big 20, 30 monitors on their desk. I ain't got time. I got too much time, I got a job, I got a wife, I got kids, and coaching engagements, podcast shows. So I'm doing a lot. So if you ain't got time, just set up a little $5 here and there, $10 there, and time in the market will help you long term. Trust me. So you got any last words, Winston? That's it.
Man, that's a great point right there. Time in the market. You know, Ian on Market Mondays, he says all the time how they duped us into thinking short term. Like we just be trying to hit the lottery ticket all the time, but the money is in the long term hold. You know, even with those, like the people that's stunting with those now, like they've been holding those for years. You know, this is not a new thing that came out. So even I would just say, like, just try to hold over cycles with any crypto. You know, when Bitcoin was up at 20,000 4 years ago, people thought it was like it'll never go any higher and it crashed. But look where it is now. And so if you can hold over years, like that's where the money is at. And so like let's really start to think out there, like far out there. Because we all can look back 5 years and be like, man, I wish I'd have did this 5 years ago. I wish I'd have did this 10 years ago. It's going to come, you know. So just like really think long term. That's all.
No doubt, no doubt. Oh, hold on. Somebody made one more comment, Mr. Hold on. Yep, Harrison. Yes, sir. Crypto is the new stock market. Yes, sir. Man. You are correct, Mr. Seals. So if you ain't in the crypto, you are missing out. Do not believe the hype. You know what I'm saying? Do not let the people on TV tell you, don't get into crypto right now. Don't get into it right now. Meanwhile, they putting all their money in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All their money. Like, because of this dip that we just recently had, I'm telling you, institutions and banks they made money off that. They're going to make money off that because they bought in on a dip when it was low. Yeah. So don't be fooled. If you see red, that means everything is on sale. All right? Don't be afraid. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight and the people who are going to be watching later, because a lot of people like to watch our show after the fact. I don't know why. They bombard us with a bunch of questions when we say we was on the show waiting for you to ask questions. So I'd like to thank everybody who asked questions. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. I just created the YouTube channel today or yesterday. We on Facebook, Twitter. I'll list everything in the comments in the description of the video. So look out for us. Make sure you follow Winston or Metarize. If you go back and look at the video, you'll see I had it on the bottom of the ticker where you can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as Theta TV and how you pronounce Audacity? Audius as well. If you're an early adopter, you can follow me on Lanyard Legends, all the platforms, lanyardlegends.com. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for all the comments and support. And we out. Peace. See you next show.
Right.